What's up, everybody? It's the Roundtable Sports Podcast. Today, we're taking a look back at the top 20 plays for Nelson Agholor in his 2020 season with the Las Vegas Raiders. Nelson's lone season with the Las Vegas Raiders was a pleasant surprise for me. Derek seemed to have a certain amount of confidence in him that he hadn't had in the last season. So it really allowed Derek to branch out a little bit and throw deeper pass and not check down as much as he did in the previous season. There was still plenty of that. Darren Waller still dominated the underneath touches, absolutely, but having Nelson and having Ruggs over the top a little bit, really helped Derek branch out and, throw some deeper passes. And Nelson was the big recipient of that for the most part. As you can see for Nelson's play, the speed plays on the field. He can run away from defensive backs out there, especially as you saw right there in space. He definitely can create separation. It's not as good in the short area, even though he's a fluid route runner and is capable of doing those routes as well. I really think it unlocks his potential when you get him out in these deeper routes and he's able to get these defensive backs out there. He's really good at the point of catch as well, so defensive backs really have to respect his ability to get over the top because he's not a huge guy, but he is still 6 foot, 198, so he is substantial. You can't push him around, and so he's not limited to the slot or anything like that. I mean, only a quarter of his snaps took place there last season, so he's capable of playing all over the formation for the New England Patriots in this next season. And I like how they mix things around and move guys around to their advantage. So I think that's going to be a big upgrade for Nelson Agholor from this last season, even though, they were able to utilize him downfield and the like. I think that a more versatile role while still utilizing his speed downfield for the Patriots will be a big deal for them. Something they didn't have really at all last season. He would have been their best receiver by far and may still be in this upcoming season as it turns out, and that's what they're paying him like. And as you can see here, it might be distilled down to a fewer, catches and the like than some of the other receivers, but you can see that there is big playability when the Raiders chose to utilize it. He doesn't own the top end of hands. There are some drops and there are some inconsistencies with the hands, but overall, I still think they're usable, and I think with the amount of speed and the amount of shiftiness and athleticism and everything else that he puts on the field, that the whole equation adds up to a winning receiver. So, it's not perfect by any means, but at the same time, you can see that there's elements that he adds to an offense that the Patriots didn't have at any point in last season. And there's a double barrel of quarterback waiting for Nelson in New England as well. So there's going to be a quarterback at the other end of this, whether it's Cam or whether it ends up being Mac Jones if Cam skips any more passes and hasn't regained his shoulder strength. If he has, all great. But if he hasn't, now you've got a backup plan at the very least for Nelson to, probably offer you some value in the late end of fantasy rounds as well. So I'll be looking for him in my best ball drafts because I believe he has big playability, and it might be, a little bit more based on the big play than some of the wide receivers, but I'm okay with that. And the Patriots just needed really any help they could get in their wide receivers and pass catchers, and with the tight ends that they got, and now with Nelson and Kendrick Bourne on board, they've upgraded that in a big way, and I'm excited to see, adding that with Jacoby Myers and adding these big plays into the offense along with some other things that I think they'll be able to bring out of Nelson. It's an exciting situation for Patriots fans. I think, any change from what was going on offense last year is a good one. Like I said, whether it's Cam's shoulder or whether it's adding, big plays like this to the offense, it's an exciting time, and we'll see how it works out in this next season.